Hello, guys, and welcome in. Welcome into tonight's live. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Seems like I haven't seen you for a while. Just kidding. If you were in today's live, it was just a little bit ago. So welcome in, everybody. Let me get to where I need to be. But have you guys had a good Monday? It's over with almost. So workday's over with at least. So we're almost into we're into the beginning of the week. So new week. Same case though. I was gonna say new case, but not a new case tonight, unfortunately. Not a new case, but not unfortunately, but because we don't really want cases in true crime. But we are going to be talking about Sebastian tonight, and in particularly Vinnie Politan and the interview that he did with Seth Rogers and Tony Mathis the other night. So we all saw the interview that they did, and we all saw the part of the interview where Tony kind of says that he wants Court TV to help him and stuff. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. That's what we're going to get into that. But before we do that, I'm going to say hi to people. Say hello to people. Say how you doing. If you guys don't mind taking a second, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel and you do like the content. My name is Tanya. So Tanya or TitaniumBuilt, you can call me either or. And nice to meet everybody that's new. I feel like I'm like up high or something, or like the desk is in a weird spot. I don't know. I think it's because I like it lower. I like it lower, so I lowered you a little bit. So let me get everything up here. As I'm doing that, let me say hi to everybody. Hey, for baby mom. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Mary Beth. It looks like maybe people were in a little before and it deletes messages. I don't know why it does that. Hey, Catherine. It'll delete, like, if you come in early in the live, like if you come in like an hour or like, I don't know, a couple hours, I would say, before the live, sometimes it'll delete the comments. But if you come in right before, it doesn't. But where is Ashley? I haven't seen Ashley. She said she's going to be really busy over the weekend. So maybe she took a sleeper. Hey, Catherine with the C, Catherine with the K. Hey, Clue Season. Welcome in, Nash Native. Welcome in, everybody. One Feather. I want to know. Yeah, I want to know. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Vinny yet. I've waited to watch it with you guys. And for some reason, my eyes are like burning, like I'm tired or something. I asked JLR why BHB hates him so much. I like to give you the answer to that. She's in love. She's in love. Hey, Cat's Life, Ladybug. Everyone's here. I see you guys. Hey, Tracy. I'm just going to kind of go to the bottom here. Niners girl, Roxanne. Welcome in, ALR. It's good to see you guys, Larry. We've got break time in here. Everyone's in here. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Stephanie. It's good to see everybody in here. Good to see you guys. Okay. So since we spent 5 minutes doing all that, we'll go ahead and get into it. But we're going to be talking tonight about we're going to talk about the Vinnie Politan interview. So Vinnie Politan did the interview with Tony and Seth, and at the end of the interview, he cut it off because Tony decided he was going to ask Court TV, not even the producers, like Vinnie Politan, who is a host of a TV show, and he was going to ask him if he could do him a solid and get Seth's name cleared by the cops. Like, common sense tells you that Vinnie Politan does not hold the power to do that. He just doesn't. He doesn't. So for you to even ask is ridiculous. So I'm surprised that, I'm not surprised that he cut you off. And the music rolled and he was like, oh, gotta go. Out of time. He usually tells people, like he'll ask a question and he'll say, I got 30 seconds left. But he didn't do that in this case. Not at all. Not at all. So, but before we go over that, I found a couple little things I wanted to show you guys as well. So, yeah, damn. I don't know why. I don't think he's a suspect yet. I don't know why he keeps saying he is. Like, he's acting like he's a suspect by making himself say he's a suspect, by saying he's a suspect. Like, going around going, I'm a suspect. Why would you say that? Like, why would you say that? I don't know, Mary Beth. Probably sleeping. I don't know, though. It's a good question. It's a good question. I have to ask her. Maybe she's been busy playing on her new computer. But Betty, our girl Betty, she did a short video today, and I was listening to it before I came on to the live, and she literally contradicts herself in this video. And so I figured we would play this first, just so I can just just so we can clear the air here. I mean, everything she says is it's crazy. She says, you know, Katie Proudfoot, this was the other night. She said Katie Proudfoot the other day wants to unalive herself, and that she told Cluminati this. Or was that today? Might have been today because my days are running together with Betty. Cluminati had come out, and I happened to click on her live literally right when she was talking about this, and she was said, no, Katie didn't reach out to me by phone call. Like, why would you, out of all the people in the world, if you were having a mental health crisis and you're telling people that you're going to unalive yourself off yourself, you know, right? Who would you call Cluminati or any YouTuber? No, you call Crisis Center, your husband, you know, 911, your family member, you know, so like clues like this never happened. It's like Betty's making it all up. So now Betty's saying, no, she found out a different way, and she doesn't even bring Clue into it. It's like, wait a minute. You were just saying yesterday something different. Like, I mean, this woman's a walking contradiction. You guys are right. You guys are right. But I figured we'd play this video real quick because it's only a few minutes long. And she talks about, I guess, Alex Murdaugh before this, but I didn't watch that part. But yeah, she's got her finger out. She's already ready. Thank you guys for being here. So we'll watch this really quick. And then I have another little short video I wanted to show you guys about something that I wanted to debunk, or I guess get a question answered for everybody. And then we'll watch the Vinnie Politan this is going to be Vinnie Politan on his own channel. So he did that interview with Seth and Tony. And then he he came out today and he did a live on his own channel. So not through Court TV, through his own channel. And he's going to give us his opinion, I guess, on Seth saying he's a suspect, which I'm dying to hear because, and I waited for you guys because he didn't know that Seth was like a suspect, or you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't aware. I really don't think Vinny was aware. I don't think Vinny put like 2 and 2 together. And I think he was shook that he didn't in that moment because he's a prosecutor and he probably should have. But let's play this really quick. Yeah, Betty has got her finger already pointed, so she's going to point at something.
This is Sebastian Rogers, a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from inside these two people's home. It was locked, it was secure, and
these two people's home.
There's no reason why this boy would have walked out unseen by any camera in the neighborhood, but that's what his parents are wanting us to believe. Well, many of you know that throughout this investigative reporting that I've been doing, Katie, as well as the Bauer Sox, have tried to put a protective order on me. And I was out of the state when I was served, so I wasn't properly served, and they extended the hearing to August 22nd. I have acquired counsel to go to that hearing and help me out in this matter. But I can tell you, I'm far from the one who broke the law. I was there for filming purposes. I've only been in the Hendersonville area literally two days, and only one trip into that area in Tennessee. So I don't know what's going on, but my recent trip to Mississippi, I truly do not believe that Sebastian is anywhere there. I think he's closer to Sumner County than Memphis, in my humble opinion. And many of you guys know Katie has been missing in action. Her son has been missing for almost 6 months, and we don't even hear hide nor hair from her. And when we did hear from her, it was self-preservation. Oh, poor me, poor me, poor me, and everything I'm going.
Poor me, poor me, poor me. She's saying that Katie said that. When and where? When and where? Because I mean, I've heard of parents saying poor me, poor me, poor me, and crying a lot, but it hasn't been Katie. No, sorry, it hasn't been. So you can let me know when you know, Betty, where that clip is.
Going through because my son disappeared from my home and I can't explain it. And then we get to a point in this case where I found out recently that it appears.
I want to write Sheriff Haddock or what is it? Haddock, whatever his name is. Oh, so bad. I just want to write him and be like, can you just do a press conference and just even just to tell us to go and like shove it? Just so that, you know, Betty's not out here doing these things. Like she's just doing the mostest.
Here's that Chris and Katie are being assisted by some law enforcement agents. Now, mind you, these people have not been cleared yet from any wrongdoing in the disappearance.
Oh, she must have got this from her TikTok.
And neither has Seth Rogers. We're actually going to be doing a gathering of voices and hoping that we can tip their hand and maybe release Seth so we can get the Cold Case Foundation to assist Seth, which will not assist Seth unless law enforcement asks them to come in or one of the parents are cleared. And
so, okay, then, Betty, why doesn't Seth go to the police and the investigators and say, will you please get the Cold Case Foundation to come in? Because she just said that the sheriffs or whatever, the police investigators can do that. But she's going to tell you why she doesn't do that.
Asks them to come in. And we know how law enforcement are, especially this man right here. He's trying to push as many people out of this case, not inviting people in. We don't know what's going on.
TBI, FBI, Secret Service. Betty, who do you want there? Jesus himself? I don't think he's available. Like, seriously, who do you want? The president? Biden ain't gonna do nothing over there. Who do you want? Trump?
We just know that he has recently told a group of his community members that even if there's a break in the case, he does not and will not be informing anybody of anything because he doesn't answer to the public. He doesn't answer to the people. And even though
if he said that, good for him, you know? I mean, seriously. I can't imagine being an officer. I've said this before. Being an investigator, you're investigating, you're doing your work. Like I'm so ADHD that when I get into something, like I'm super hyper focused, you know? So I can only imagine being an investigator and being super hyper focused into a case. And then I've got to be ripped away to go to a press conference to tell people this is what we've got. You know what I mean? Like when maybe you don't have that much, you're still investigating something. I don't know. I feel for the cops. I do feel for them, but they need to do something. They need to do something. And in this case, there needs to be a press conference held. This is too high profile of a case to not be holding some sort of a press conference at least once a month, or if at the maybe once every few months. Like give us something. We haven't had but one press conference, you know? I mean, even if you can't say like much, just at least debunk some of the rumors. I know it's hard to do because there's so many out there now.
He's an elected official. Oh, well.
He probably is overwhelmed and he's probably like, I don't even know what to say because I can't even start with the rumors. Like,
well, this is how he polices. If it's your child, too bad, so sad. He's not opening his trap, right? He's not letting, this is a worldwide case and he has completely shut the case down. And meanwhile, leaving everybody in limbo, wanting to know, was this child abducted or did his parents have something to do with it? If there's an abduction theory on the table and he is willfully misinforming his community, he's putting other people in danger. So we don't know what's going on. And according to this reporter, he's saying basically Chris and Katie aren't suspects, implying that Seth is. And I'm just like, this can't get any crazier than it's getting. And it seems like all these people have gone to school with Chris Proudfoot. It seems like his family's in the department. And now we're going to start a writing campaign for an internal affairs investigation.
There's zero proof that Chris knows anybody or is connected to anybody in the sheriff's office. There's zero proof of that.
As well as
but Seth is a corrections officer. So, I mean, he's got connections, I'm sure. But probably not Chris Proudfoot. No, not so much crane operator. Betty, think about what you're saying because it could be turned against you.
Was informing the state attorney and TBI of some of our concerns. And we're going to be doing that in the near future. And when I get those templates prepared, I'll let each and every one of you guys know. But right now, I'm like,
if that lady had any sort of inkling. If she knew that Sebastian was alive, she would have done told the police months ago. She was on the computer internet in April. And Sebastian, she was going in Sebastian groups. We did a little debunking thing last night. She was spitting off stuff back then, but nothing about Sebastian being alive. So if she knew that Sebastian was alive, she would have said something back in April.
You know what,
when she was tagging JLR, and JLR knows. He knows who she is. He knew when he made that video.
Whole protective orders.
I mean, it took me all of 3 minutes to figure that out.
And even though we know that they were malicious and it was for malicious prosecution and abusive process, it doesn't matter. They still put it on the record. And I brought up in a couple of my conversations that maybe Nina needs to take notice of these. I don't have Nina's information. I haven't contacted nor spoke to Nina, but I figured somebody probably did send this stuff over to her. Letting her know that Chris and Katie and everybody are so they're so scared for their life that it might be, not safe for Faith to be there. And I'm hearing through back channels that Katie's losing her stuff over this because she realizes that she just put on the record that an attorney can pick up how unsafe her house is and how she has crazy people threatening her life and threatening the only other house that Faith could go to, the Bowersox's house. So I don't know what's going on, but
Betty, that's not going to work for you. It's not going to work for you. Stop hiding.
But it does sound like potentially, now this came from a third-party source. I have no way of corroborating this as true. I just got an email saying that Katie threatened to unalive herself if anything happened to Faith. I wish she would have that same tenacity for her own son that's been missing for 6 years.
So that's when she said supposedly Cluminati, what happened with Cluminati. And now she's like putting it out here as fact. But yesterday she was saying really bad things about Clue and all of this. It's like, Betty, come on now. Nobody called Clue because if somebody did, Clue would have called in a 513, whatever it's called, 5150 on her. You just call in and you say, hey, this person said that they're going to, and they will send somebody out there. Like, and oopsie, I'm sorry, I had the mic. Clue wouldn't have to do anything else. That's it. She's a decent person to at least she wouldn't just, if something like that happened, she wouldn't just be like, okay, whatever, bye, Katie, and hang up and then just resume her day. Do you know what I mean? Betty, you just make up stuff and I don't know where you find it. Like, it would be lovely if I could get in that brain for like 2 seconds. No, I don't want to be there. Never mind. I don't. But I mean, really, where does she figure it out? Is this what she's in bed dreaming about?
6 months. So anyways, I just thought this was a little tidbit. Again, I'm under the weather, but I wanted.
Truth is, Katie and the Bowersox have a protective order on this lady right here on the screen. That is the truth. That is the cold, hard facts. And until Betty goes to court, she's not getting out of nothing. And she's probably not going to get out of it whenever she goes to court. They're probably going to sign a protective order and they're probably going to give her a year at least. Maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years. Hell, I don't know. No, I didn't for baby mom. I saw the one where she said she didn't. I saw like a minute of it because I clicked in right when she was saying like, Katie never called me. And I listened to that and I was like, oh. Because then I was like, what's going on? Like, you know what I mean? That's when my brain, because I didn't know anything about the call. Like, suppose a call, there's no call. Nobody called anybody. If you were Katie, or no, if you're just yourself, okay? If I'm having a mental meltdown, the first person I'm going to call is Vincent. 1,000,000%. If I'm crying in the closet, he's crying in the closet with me. You know what I mean? We ride together. I'm not going to call Cluminati or a YouTube creator. Like, why would you why? When Katie has kept her mouth shut this whole time, why would she call come on now. Like, that's crazy. When Chris usually does all the talking anyway. Should have said Chris called you and said he needed one. Isn't it crazy? Hey, Jonesin. Your live was good. Man, we might have to cover that Wade Wilson over here. I had to go back and watch the rest of it. I had to get over here. I was like, man, you got to go. I was like, you got to click out of the tab. Just click out. I didn't even say bye. I just clicked just because I had to click out. I was like, I'm so ADHD. I'm like, just do it. Just click out. We're watching Betty in all of her glory, but she's done now. We're done with her. We're done, we're done with Betty. I just wanted to show you guys that because first she said Clue told her, then she said it was an email. It's just like who, what, when, where. Betty, you literally just got off a live and you just said something different. Like, are the same people not watching your videos that watch your live? Are the same people that maybe it's not? Maybe she has a different audience for TikTok and for YouTube. Because this was a TikTok. I don't know. It's crazy. So I don't know this creator personally, but I saw this video pop up today on my For You page. It was just like a little bit ago, literally, let me see, a few hours ago. But do you remember when everyone was saying like they were freaking out and they were talking about Chris saying this is a case that they'll study for years? You remember that? They'll study it for years. And I kept asking people, I'm like, where was this? I was in the chat, like, where was this said? Someone was like, oh, Seth said it on Pascal and like blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, I was so glad that I don't know which one of y'all said that to me. And it's cool now because I'm glad I didn't go back and I was glad I wasn't watching this. And then someone said it was on Dutch's live. And you guys, whoever said that was true. That was true. It was Dutch's live. But I never got the chance. All right, I did. I had the chance. I just forgot. So I don't want to lie to y'all. I forgot about it. But I just completely forgot about the question. But there was somebody that made a video today about it. And they found the answer. And we're going to get the whole context of the whole thing that was said. And in the whole thing that was said, it's going to make you think of it a lot differently. Because it's not, he did not say this is a case they're going to study for years. He said this is a case to study or something like that. And I mean, the way that you have to just, you have to just listen to the whole video. But this was from, is it Carrie Moody? I think that's her name, Carrie. Yeah, Carrie with K. Kari. Yeah. I used to work with a lady with that name. Spelled like that. Let me get her page up here. And I put Betty's video link in the chat. Let me do it again, just in case you guys want to go over there and watch the whole thing again. I mean, she talked about Alec Murdoch in the beginning. I don't know what she was talking about there. Yeah, they do, Jones. And like, so that's why I was like, where is this love? I want to see this. Cause I mean, to say that that's kind of weird. Like if you were to say this is a case they're going to study for years, it just depends on, I guess, the creator and the way they say things too. I never really thought about that. I mean, the way that we say like things, like it could portray things differently. So I even commented under this video. I was like, this is awesome. I was like, thank you for making this video. And she's going to make more. She said she's going to make some more videos like this so that like shorter videos. That way she can get out stuff about the misinformation and correct the misinformation. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. It's too much for one person to do. I mean, I don't do it. I'm not saying me. I'm just saying like, I know that nonsense does it. And it's a lot for one person to do, like to continue to watch videos and video. I mean, there's so many videos. People are coming out of the trees for, for this case. Like, I mean, they're real. I mean, they're coming out of, I don't know where they're coming from, but we have a lot of new people I noticed on my For You page today. And I'm like clicking, I'm like, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? But we all come in at a certain time, we all do, but it's always just weird when people come in like in the middle of a case. I don't know why. Maybe it's because maybe I'm just being judgmental, but I don't mean to be. But it says the statement everyone got wrong, Chris Proudfoot. And I love that title because that's the truth. Oh, I didn't like it. Oh, I gotta like it. I commented and I didn't like it. Okay.
Welcome back to Carrie Moody.
I'm going to put her link here in the chat too. So make sure you go over and support.
So, hey guys, most of you know I haven't truly been covering the Sebastian Rogers case. Sebastian went missing out of Tennessee. There is currently a national Amber Alert for him. I haven't really covered Sebastian's case, but I have followed it very, very, very closely. And there's really nothing more to cover, right? I mean, there's only so many facts. And most of you know that I'm not one of those that's going to place blame on any of the parents, although I certainly have my opinions on all sides. However, one thing that does just drive me batshit crazy, to be honest, is misinformation in any case. So with that said, when I keep seeing the same thing said repeatedly over and over and over, if it is misinformation and I am able to correct it, then that's absolutely, where I feel I can best contribute rather than doing hour-long lives, basically rehashing all the same information over and over and accusing these parents of god-awful things. So this is one thing that always seems to come out. I see it in the groups, I see it in chats, and it truly drives me nuts. Well, there's a whole lot of them, obviously. I'm sure there is for all of you guys as well. But this is the first thing I want to clear up. And it's something I see said all the time. Chris?
Okay. So if you're just coming in, just to give you guys a little recap, this is Carrie Moody. She's a content creator on the platform, and she's going to clear up some misinformation that's been floating around. And she's going to play the clip where, so basically what we're going to listen to is, do you guys remember when Chris Proudfoot said, this is a case they're going to study for years? People have been saying that, and they've been going crazy about it. He said that this is going to be a case they're going to study for years. He's guilty. And I've been asking, like, where is this at? Like, what interview? Well, a couple of you guys told me it was Dutch's, and that's where it was. I just never went and watched the whole interview, I guess. I didn't, because I don't know. I just forgot about it. But she reminded me today whenever I saw this video, and I was so happy to hear it. So she's going to give us the whole context of what he said, because he didn't say that. He didn't say that at all.
Said this is a case that'll be studied for years. What did Chris mean by that? Well, let's see what Chris meant by that. Let's listen to the entire context and what his exact words were. And hopefully that will correct at least this one piece of misinformation.
If you have a lot of land, it needs to be searched, just to be sure, because he may be lost. He may be somewhere and he can't find his way back. So that's why it's very critical. Can you talk to me about the search and rescue efforts? Are they searching on land, air? They also have dive teams there. What can you tell us about that?
So currently, as of today, the National Guard was also brought in to help with the search, but they have had fixed wing aircraft.
So the National Guard also, Betty said,
helicopters, horseback ATVs, side by side, door to door, scouring every neighborhood possible. The outreach from the community and various counties has been extremely welcoming, loved. We've been told this is probably one of the largest searches that they've conducted with so much input that it's a case to be studied for sure.
You have a lot of people that are praying.
Did you guys hear that? All he said was it's a case to be studied for sure. We're going to go back.
One of the largest neighborhood possible. The outreach from the community and various counties has been extremely welcoming, loved. We've been told this is probably one of the largest searches that they've conducted with so much input.
So this is what they've been told.
That it's a case to be studied for sure.
They were told that. Chris never said that.
You have a lot of people that are praying and supporting you right now. Was his ask, would he be able to ride a city bus?
Nothing is off the table as far as abilities. Could the young man get on a bus? I'm sure he could.
We've never done it before.
We've never rode a city bus, so I don't think he understands the process.
So there you have it in Chris's own words with the full.
So full text. I was like, thanks everybody. Hit the like, please. See, we're all nice here. Brandon, did she? Tremendous turnout with the agencies for initial search. Well, that's what they searched like 5 miles or something, like the search. They searched more than that, but then they went back and they researched, And then we heard last night, I believe, or the night before, that they're waiting until maybe the until like fall, when the leaves start to fall off the trees, and then they're going to go back out and research again, because of the fact that, you know, it is so there's so much woods around there, and all of the trees make it so dense that it's hard to kind of see, especially if you're in the air looking down, you know. So unfortunately, they're waiting, you know, until, if they have to do that, you know, they're going to wait till fall and then they'll go back out. That's saying that he is out there. He might, I mean, he might be somewhere. I mean, he might be somewhere fine right now. We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. We don't know anything, which sucks. I mean, like we've never had a case like this really before. I mean, Sebastian reminded me of, what was his name? Was it Scotty Brooks? I think that was his name. The little boy that ran away, and he was gone for like 2 days, and his stepmom found him, but his stepmom had like been like mean to him, and it was weird that she found him. And so that, like, this case was reminding me of that at first, but then it's like the longer it goes, it's like, where is this kid? You know, this case is toxic, Aries. It is. He looks like your nephew when he was younger. He's adorable. All of his pictures, though, he looks a little different. He looks a little different, like in each one. So, I always use the same picture. It's like, I think he was probably younger in that one a little bit, but I just always use the same one. But I know the one with the optimism shirt, so the one on the screen to the right, is the newest one, because Katie had taken that weekend, I believe she said. So, but Vinnie is going to talk about Seth Rogers and the interview that he had with him on Core TV. So Vinnie Politan has his own YouTube channel, and he kind of can talk a little more freely over there about things. So he went live this afternoon. When we were live this afternoon, he went live. So I didn't want to, like, you know, stream him while he was streaming. So I figured we would go over it this evening. And he does have the prettiest blue eyes. I will tell you that. Okay. So let's see what he has to say about the interview with Seth and Tony. I hope he has a lot to say.
Don't just disappear on their own. That's not.
And okay, I have it sped up. We'll see
Not how it works.
It
doesn't work that way. Something happened. Someone
down.
knows. Someone is responsible. I'm Vinnie Politan. Great to see you. Great to have you aboard, folks. Wow. Here we are. I can't believe we're still here. And there's still no evidence, no leads, no clues, no arrests, nothing, no information. How does that work? Explain to me how that works. Having a hard time. Because it shouldn't work this way. It just should not work this way. 15-year-old child with autism disappears, and I don't know. There's no evidence of anything. Are you telling me this is either the perfect escape runaway by a 15-year-old with autism on medication, or this is the perfect crime, one or the other? Is that what we're saying here? No evidence, no leads, no suspects, no nothing, no evidence of foul play. So here we are in the case of Sebastian Rogers. I'm Vinnie Politan. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, do all the things you need to do, folks, to keep us going here. It's great to have everyone here. The question I posed is, why is Sebastian's father still not cleared? He was on my show the other night and talked about it. And it's very concerning to him, because he believes it's really hindering his access to information, hindering everything. So, I mean, isn't that the way investigations should go? You look at the people closest, and then you fully investigate. And everything he has said is that he has been completely cooperative, willing to do a lie detector, gave up his phone, everything else, you know, alibi at work at the time. I'm trying to understand what it would take for him to be cleared.
Sebastian being home.
I don't understand. What do they potentially?
They could look through his mobile device, and if he hasn't been texting anybody, right? You know, like, help me kidnap my kid or something along those lines, then I'm sure the cops could clear him. And I mean, pretty much clear him, I mean, if his phone is just like him playing, Roblox or whatever, I don't know. I don't know if they play Call of Duty or something. If that's all it is, it's nothing. Like if they look through the devices and there's nothing there, then yeah, I mean, clear him. But maybe they haven't done that yet. Maybe investigators are still combing through the devices. Maybe they're still looking through these devices. We don't know. I mean, they're still looking through stuff in the Idaho 4 case. And we don't know how much, information was on his computers or his gaming device. He could have had a lot of movies downloaded, a lot of videos downloaded. You just never know. So it could take a little bit of time. But if they did that and then they checked his phone, because those burner phones, they show up now. They can track burner phones too.
Police suspect out there. I guess anything is on the table, right? If you're an investigator with no evidence or no information, but at the same time, there's nothing. There's nothing. Wow. Absolutely nothing. And that's frustrating because if there's nothing at this point, when will there be something? Like what could possibly happen? There have been extensive searches that have continued. Like if he went off on his own, but first of all, if he's leaving in the middle of the night on his own, how and why would he leave? Right? For me, it was always thinking about, well, maybe someone lured him there under something. Well, then there would be something that would indicate that. And then presumably there would be many more people who know, many more opportunities for someone to talk. And if it was in fact a classmate or someone like that, how limited was his interaction on the World Wide Web, on the internet? Could he have been targeted by someone pretending to be someone else and to get him to a particular place? Did he leave on his own? Could he have left? I guess it's possible, but why would he leave without shoes? Why would he leave without a phone? None of that makes sense, does it? Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. There's nothing about the circumstances that at least we believe to be true that would lead to him walking away on his own. There's nothing. There's nothing. Obviously, anything and everything is possible. Everything's on the table. We get it. There's no suspects, no evidence, no leads, no nothing. But did he leave without his shoes? Like if that part of this is true, that there's no evidence that he had shoes on his feet, where is he going?
Weird that Seth thought that was, he thought that was Sebastian, but nobody else did. Remember, Chris said he's like, I don't believe that's Sebastian. But then Seth, his father, was like, no, that's him. That's him.
Where is he going? How far is he going?
That's kind of, I don't know.
Really? Like, and how would he not be found or seen or spotted or someone said something? If he's lured by some creeper or something, in a gaming app or somewhere else, somehow was able to make contact with him, how would there not be some trail of that somewhere? Because I've got to believe they've investigated all of that, including his phone. It doesn't make a lot of sense to anyone. But it seems that there had to be something somewhere that caused this to happen. Right? Tension in the home, an argument, a fight, a threat, something like that. Someone luring him or someone creating a situation making him want to run away. But without shoes, come on. And there's zero. And by the way, they're saying nothing about this as well. So what happens to the cases where there's no evidence, no leads, no anything, and they're not saying anything? I think there was a big lesson in the Delphi case in retrospect, right? I mean, ultimately they arrest Richard Allen. And he is someone who told some form of law enforcement that he was.
It does seem like they still have Seth's stuff because I remember in an interview, I don't know if it was with Vinnie, but I think it was with Vinnie the other night. He was like, yeah, I gave him my electronics. What else do they want? Like, it almost seemed like he didn't get them back yet, but maybe he has. I'm not sure. You wouldn't think it would. Well, no, they would probably want to keep the device till they went through the whole device. So they may still have it. I mean, he has money to go buy another PlayStation if he wants.
was there that day.
If it was that big of a deal, you know what I mean? Like, not saying.
And years later, I guess they find the clothes
I'm
that are
saying.
similar, and he's got a similar build, etc. All of that.
I knew that wasn't Sebastian.
You know, they got buried.
I don't even know him.
Someone didn't see that piece of paper. Like, no one thought through all those years. All right, let's go back. Who was there that day? Who do we know was there that day? And that's one of the guys. This guy they arrest. It's insanity. It's insanity. That's why
I'm talking about Delphi.
When stories like this happen, I tend to give the benefit of the doubt to investigators and to law enforcement. I always do. But then I have a story like Delphi where it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. And if Richard Allen is the one actually responsible, you knew about him on day one or the beginning of day two. I forgot when his interview was, but you knew about him. And how much did you didn't investigate him for 5 years, 7 years, whatever it was? That makes no sense to me. No sense. So what will it take to clear Sebastian's father, who from all accounts seems pretty connected to trying to get to the bottom of this? Now, I've seen parents in all different circumstances. And I know we all react differently, yada, 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 yada. But I've been doing this for a long time. And I've seen parents with missing children in different scenarios, all different scenarios. And there's a little bit of a pattern. The ones who are really looking for their child and are looking for an answer and are obsessed, and it's the most important. I mean, they are there day in and day out. They're not letting it go. And by the way, they are very public about it. And you can, say whatever you want. Say what you want about it. But I know I'm in the media. I want people to talk. But I think sunshine helps these days. And you can go after the internet. And you can say, oh, it's a bad thing. Rumors that it breathes life into stories. It keeps faces in the public eye, and it keeps pressure going. Whether it's a podcast, a live stream, stories on the local news, stories on national news like Court TV. It keeps the pressure on, and it keeps people talking. It does keep people talking. So if more than one person knows about something, then someone may be more likely to talk about it. Because at this point, that seems like that's the only place where this is going. If the physical evidence, the digital footprint, none of that has led anywhere, then it seems like you've got to hope that more than one person knows about this, about what happened. And that other person will speak, will have a reason to speak. So how do we get to clearing someone? Well, someone gets cleared when they are completely open and provide everything they can. And what Seth Rogers is saying, and has told me and has told everyone else, that he is ready, willing, and able. Here, what else do you need? Just clear me. Because he won't, sometimes he sounds more frustrated than other times. I think he tries to control himself, right? For obvious reasons. But my goodness, it's his child. It's his child. And they're great members of law enforcement.
Never seen him control himself.
No one wants it solved more.
Never really seen him control himself. Parent. He doesn't look like he's not like a self-controlling kind of person.
Period. Give me a break. It's like when you go to you're in with the doctor, you're at the hospital, all the doctors, they all want to do good. Well, they've got more than one thing going on. And that's why every patient needs an advocate, whether it's an adult child or a parent or a brother, sister, uncle, friend, whatever it is. Once you get in that system, you need an advocate to get the kind of care that you need. Otherwise, things can get overlooked.
Absolutely, Vinnie Politan. You preach about that. Preach that. Always have an advocate with you. Don't go to the doctor by yourself. Don't do that. Don't. Believe you me. If you have serious medical issues, don't go to the doctor by yourself. Just have someone go with you so they can help you.
And it's the same thing when it comes to missing children. You need like that squeaky wheel to keep the pressure on, but can also help. Because who's going to know more about Sebastian than his parents? Nobody. Nobody's going to know more about him than his parents. They're a great resource. But in order to use them as a resource, you've got to clear them. And they've been, law enforcement said everyone's cooperating. No problem with the cooperation. Well, can you clear them and then up the level of cooperation? It's not there. It's not there. I don't know. Is that really helping the investigation? Solving it might be more difficult than clearing someone. Clearing someone, if you have them there and they're willing to sit down, they're willing to answer questions, they're willing to show and tell you everything. What more is needed? Where are the holes? If there's holes in someone's story, let them know where the holes are, and if they can fill them, they'll try to fill them. If they can't,
I mean, after 6 months, what else do you have to ask? Maybe. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you know everything that happened that weekend, that week, for the last 2 weeks, I mean, you just keep going back in time, and I mean, maybe there's no questions to be asked right now. Maybe they're waiting on more of like the forensic side, or like the stuff to come back that's more like technical, from the computers, the phones, the gaming systems. They have to go through all of that. And it literally is just somebody like sitting on a computer, just going through all of that, frame by frame. They're not watching it like a regular video. They're literally going frame by frame because they want to see if there's anything that they don't want to miss anything.
they can't.
And then all of the doorbell cameras.
But it's not, and I understand law enforcement close to the vest. Is that what they call it? Close to the chest or close to the vest? I never knew that saying. Which one is it?
Squeaky.
So I know they're just not showing their cards. I know they're not showing their cards. Maybe they need to show a card or two.
Hey, wizard.
Maybe they need a little more help. Where's the help going to come from? Where's the help going to come from? All right. Roxy's World. Has anyone been named suspects? No, I haven't heard of anyone being not cleared. It's a game, Vinny. I don't know what it is. There's no evidence, no clues, no motive, no nothing. What is going on here? Elise, Vinny, I can't see Court TV streaming online anymore to watch your nightly program. I'm so disappointed. Of course you could see it. It's on every night. CourtTV.com if you want to watch it on a computer. CourtTV.com.
If you have a MacBook, you can't watch it. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. You think if you have an expensive computer like that, you'd be able to watch it. Maybe it's like because I stream my MacBook through another, like my Dell monitors. I don't know, but it doesn't come up. There's no picture.
Live stream, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, closing arguments, streaming live for free on your computer or on a Court TV app on your phone. 9 to 10, streaming live for free. Vinnie
but I can't
Politan
get it for you guys.
So we're definitely streaming online. No doubt, Elise.
I'll have to try.
Sometimes even YouTube. Court TV's YouTube takes the feed sometimes, once in a while. But CourtTV.com, yeah, every night. And on the app. Look, I can go on the app right now. I go on the Court TV app, stream live now, probably be a commercial. All right, here we go.
Public Administrator Robert Tellis is accused of killing veteran journalist Jeff Kiernan. Now, before
it's Court TV. Court TV has an app. You just go on the App Store. And you can do it there. Or, depending upon, I don't know what service you have for TV, it's there. If you're on your computer, CourtTV.com. We got you. At least we got you. All right. Hello to everyone that's watching. We got a lot of folks. The real Dolly Vision is here. Good to know. Thanks for watching. Gen X, of course, keeping order in the court with Melly, keeping order in the court with Frankie Figs, keeping order in court. And there we go. All right. Pick me. How can they clear anyone? Who's to say it wasn't planned with all three of them? Who knows at this point? Well, like if someone is looking to be cleared and is vocally saying, please clear me, what do I need to do? How about starting with a conversation about that? Well, okay, you gave us your phone, but this, we want to see that. Where were you then? Who were you talking to then? Do you have, witnesses at work who saw you there? I don't know what else can be done. I'll tell you what, if you tried charging him with something, I think you'd have a great defense with an alibi being at work. I don't think you could prove the case against him. So I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about. Unless, as you're saying, pick me, he's part of a conspiracy. So he's not being cleared because he's conspiring with the others. All right. Well, look at the phone. Like, is he talking to someone like often? All right. If he's talking to someone often, who are you talking to often? What are you talking to him about? I'm sure he'd be willing to go in and be interrogated if you want to interrogate him. I don't know. But the level of frustration, you have a missing son and people are telling you there's no evidence, no clues, no suspects, no nothing. You get a little frustrated. And again, like anything can happen, anything is possible. Like Elizabeth Smart, we know how strange that ending was.
That was.
We know how strange that ending was. Things like that are possible. Vinnie being a diva.
And in that case, there was a witness, her little sister. Elizabeth's little sister was there. She saw the guy, but she was like way too scared. It like her brain just blocked it out.
Eva arriving late, 2 minutes late, buddy. Well, Elaine McKenzie. No, just doing the things I have to do because right after the show, I've got to go to the studio to do my other show. So I was working on my hair, I was working on my hair. So maybe I was being a diva. You're right. Got it. All right.
Vinnie Politan reminds me of my dad.
Let's see who else is here today.
When he has the accent going, and yeah, the way he dresses and stuff. He does.
Oh wait, I got to hit a button.
Maybe that's what it is. He does remind me of him.
To the Instagram. All right. We're now live on Instagram as well. Ashley, we need answers. This poor boy. Yeah, absolutely.
Something would be nice. I think they need to come on to a press conference, really.
Has a mom? No one's been cleared. No one's been cleared.
Yeah, no one's been cleared.
No one's been cleared of anything.
But nobody's been named a suspect because there's no evidence that a crime has even been committed there yet. You can't charge somebody if there hasn't even been a crime. Like like
problem is they don't know what happened. Right? What happened?
That, I guess.
Was it, did you run away? The only way there wasn't foul play here is if he on his own got up and walked out of the house and somehow, some way found a way to disappear.
Does anybody in the chat have a child? Like, you don't have to say, wow, I guess you would. I'm trying to get this. This is the question I have. If your child is autistic and if they're like, maybe they're considered a runner, I wonder what triggers them to run. To want to run. Like, we covered a little girl that had, she was missing for a couple of days and she was autistic. And her reasoning was, her mother had passed away. So she wanted to go outside to try to find her mom. Terrible case. They found her, thank God. But, she had done it a couple other times, but they bought them like safety locks and all this stuff. But I'm just wondering what would cause that to happen. I'm wondering if a nightmare could trigger that, like a moment of like fleeing. Yeah, like that's. I'm wondering. Oh wait, what just happened here? The last one. See my autistic son every night. They have phases. Eloping is one of them. Yeah, I'm wondering if he just ran right out the door because he was scared of something. And then he shut the door thinking maybe he left it in there. Even though he knows his mom's in there, he's not thinking that. And I'm wondering what it feels like to want to run. I'm wondering if I don't know. Because it's just, I have questions. I have so many questions.
Without a trace.
Because if he ran out the door, what would make him turn around and shut the door? Other than if there was like, he thought he was running from something and he was shutting the door to like protect himself, like, you know what I mean? Because like, why would the door be closed if he ran out?
Personally, I think that's the most unlikely scenario, but it is possible. There are lots of stories, usually a little bit younger, children with autism that end up near water, but usually younger. He's a teenager as well. There's a combination, right? He's not just a child, a teenager. Teenagers are going through changes at age 15. Addicted to STS. Finally caught alive. Vancouver Island, British Columbia. Canada loves Vinnie. Thank you. Thank you for watching from British Columbia. Right. Turk Watson. Seth should be clear. He was at work on camera. That's my understanding. Obviously, I haven't seen all the videos. But if that's the case, what else do you need? What else do you need? Unless they believe he's part of a conspiracy. Conspiracy with whom? And are they just not clearing because they don't know what happened? Is it semantics?
They're probably going through his phone still to make sure there's none of those, calls or something like, hey, help me kidnap my kid. Or you got him, those type of deals. The text messages. Can you help me kidnap my kid? Yeah, I can help you do that.
Is it semantics, right? So, in a Emmer, regular Emmer type of investigation,
I don't think that's what happened.
The victim, right? You've got the body or whatever, and you have some sort of a timeline, and you've got a specific place where something took place.
That's what I thought, Scooter McBooter,
it's
too.
Easier, perhaps, at that point.
The only thing I could think of is if he ran out and he shut the door because he was trying to. I mean, even though he knew his mom was in there, like he may not have been thinking that if he's running. He may have shut the door just like to kind of protect himself, like, you know what I mean? But I still don't see it. I just don't. I see if you're running, I'm trying to picture it in my head. That's why my eyes are closed. Like if you're running, I just see you running out the door. Yeah. And if you do close it, you just slam it almost. And I think that would alert the dog. So maybe I don't know.
To clear people because you have more specific information about what happened to the victim. Here, you don't know. So it could just be a matter of semantics, making it impossible to clear someone because you don't know what happened. I'm just trying to understand it, right? Understand their thought.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And it's a very relationship sometimes.
Welcome in, everybody.
Because there are times where the family has to be looked at. And sometimes the family's not cleared. Sometimes the family is under suspicion, but ends up being 1000% innocent. Creates a little bit of friction. But I always look for the family that is looking.
Candace and Dawn haven't been cleared, right? In the Summer Wells case, they haven't been cleared yet, right? And it's been 3-4 years since Summer went missing? 2021? So 3 years. Are those two cleared? I don't think they are. Nope. So yeah. Get comfortable. I didn't think they were. Yeah. Because they don't know what happened to Summer. They don't know. Do you know what I mean? They don't know what happened to Summer, so they can't clear people. And that's just what it is. It is what it is. I hate that saying so much. I hate it so much. I never say that. I remember we're supposed to exit that from the vocabulary, but no, like really, that's truth though. Yeah, no one's been cleared. Okay, that's what I thought. I haven't really covered the Summer Wells case because it is an insane case. Now, I do think I would be good though to cover it because I don't have a bias. I don't really have a bias. Like kind of do a little when I did my videos, but I don't run out. Like I don't know that all of the drama. So I guess that's a good thing. But I did have an opinion on the way that she lived. I just did. I know some people live in the holler and stuff like that, and that's a way of life, but what I saw there, I don't think that Summer should have been in that room, in that hole, in the hole in the floor.
To be cleared, which means you are inviting more scrutiny.
Yeah, that's where this.
If you're inviting the scrutiny, well, if you're inviting the scrutiny, then
it's going to be the boys.
You have nothing to hide.
Summer Wells
because
case.
You legitimately want to be on the same page with law enforcement doing this search, trying to figure out what happened and where your child is.
Or that thud could have been him hopping out the window. Like those windows sit up kind of high, to where I mean, he could have turned around and jumped out, but it would be easier, I feel like, just to hop out. And and then if he did land in dirt, maybe he moved the dirt back to where, you couldn't see any footprints. Maybe he did that, or the person that was like there with him, maybe there was a person there with him. And that's why there was no trace of him going out the window. But I don't know how he would have shut the window again, because those windows are so high. I don't think he would have been able to reach up to the window to shut it. So there goes that one. There goes that theory.
Again, this is
I'll have to look on the house again, but I'm pretty sure the windows are up pretty high.
for me. This is based upon speaking with and covering victims through the years.
And welcome in,
Glenda,
everybody.
hey Vinny and the mods. I don't want to always say it, but how many moms choose the guy and get rid of the kid?
Oh
Glenda?
yeah, I forgot we went over this
Mezzacapo?
already,
What
Mona
does that
Lisa.
mean?
Thank
Half
you
a head?
again. Thank you. They
Glenda,
did.
yeah. I see what you're saying. I think everyone's saying it because we've seen it, but you never want to believe it. But what is at play? And this is the job of investigators.
I'm just going to keep my original thought, but I still don't know. I don't know what happened to this kid. I've always said since the beginning that I thought that this was a bully school something situation where some kids got him to sneak out and they decided to beat him up, and maybe they filmed it or something. I don't know. Maybe they were going to film it. I don't know. Maybe it was initiation. I don't know. But that's what I thought. And then they hid him. It's kind of like the Skylar Niece case. We went over that case where her two best friends unalived her with knives, and then they hid her for months, hid her in the woods. And then they told her parents, finally, and investigators, where they admitted to it, but they didn't find her on their own. So, I mean, their kids are, capable of doing some crazy things, but what are your guys' theories?
To figure out what was at play in the household where he was actually living. What were the issues that existed in the home where he was living? And has a clear picture of that been created?
And I mean, that's hard to say because that means, like that's me saying that I think that he's unalived, but I don't think he's just chilling out somewhere on the couch, eating cheese curls, watching cartoons and playing Minecraft or whatever. I don't see that. And I just, it sucks, but I don't. We're going on 6 months, 6 months of no sighting, no phone call. I'm sorry, but Sebastian looks like the type of kid that if he knew in his mind that he was wanted and that he was missing and the police were looking for him, I 1,000% believe he would find a way to find a phone and get in contact. Even if he was told, do not get in contact with the police, like we're holding you here for a reason, blah, 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 blah. I still think that he would be too scared of getting in trouble. I think that he would be like, nope, I got called. I feel like that. I think he would show up. But we haven't heard from him. We haven't seen him. And I don't think someone got him tied up in their basement either. I just don't see that happening. Why would somebody want to tie up and keep a 15-year-old boy that has autism, and he has that chromosome deletion, he needs medication? I mean, really, like, do you guys, I mean, it sucks. It's sad. I just, I just don't know what happened. I hope that he's alive. I do. I pray that he's alive. I pray all the time. Every day I sit and play. I'll be like doing some random stuff, like cleaning my home, and I'm just like, "Where are you, buddy? Like, where could you be? What could have happened?" There's always hope. I'm from Ohio, and Cleveland, we had Ariel Kastroff that had the girls in his home for like 10 to 12 or something years. Locked up. It does happen, and they do escape finally, eventually, and maybe that's what's going to happen in this case. But mine's always just been like just something with school and bullies. I don't know. He did love school though.
Is there a clear understanding of the family dynamics and the household dynamics? Right? That's important because that's where he was living. First and foremost, most important thing. And with those dynamics,
really
some sort of reaction.
We played that interview, that one. I got to interrupt for a second, sidebar. The interview with the guy that found Amanda Berry that let her out. We played that interview one night just to joke, just to laugh. That is the chef's kiss of interviews. I might have to play that at the end of the live. I think they were trying to like ping me last time though. Like they took like copyright, but I don't know if they did or not.
Serenity 72, all windows,
so
doors
funny.
locked. No sign of him walking out. No sign of break-in. Only thing on camera are the 3 a.m. lights. That was not a garbage. That was not a garbage truck, and none of those lights going back towards the Proudfoots.
Yeah, but he's been on the
This is all
medicine
there
for a
is.
while. I think. No, like
Windows,
I mean, like 6
doors
months or so.
Locked. No sign of him walking out. No sign of a break-in. Only thing on camera, the 3 a.m. lights. That was not a garbage truck. And one of those lights going back towards the Proudfoots.
Yeah.
What
It's
are
sad.
the lights?
I've always heard that the flashlight that Sebastian took, we need to find the video. Maybe it's Dutch's, and maybe I need to go through that interview. But the flashlight, I've heard that it was like a keychain type of flashlight. So in my mind, and this is probably incorrect, I don't know, but do you guys remember those flashlights back when in like the 80s, 90s, and you like, I think you like just squished them, and when you squished them, the little light came on, and you would put them on like your keychain and stuff. I think maybe banks would give them out or something, even, or like places you would go, they would give them out, and they were like a little light. That's the kind of flashlight I picture him having. It's not going to illuminate the whole dang sky. It's going to just be a super little small flashlight. But if that's not the case, even if it's like a mag light, keychain flashlight, like this is actually like perfect size, this little microphone, like it's only going to be this big up to like, you know what I mean? It's not going to be that big if it's a keychain. So I mean, how would the light be that bright? Oh, the light didn't work. I forgot you did say that. How do we know the light didn't work? Which interview is that on? I need to go back and watch that, because there was just I don't know, the lights just get me. The lights are crazy. The lights.
Michelle L. Thank you, Serenity 72. Laying it out, right? Laying out what little we know. But I don't know if there's more to know, right? Michelle L. Goes to another important fact.
So what would be the reason for Katie, I guess they're saying, right? Because she was there that night, to take Sebastian out of the home with the flashlight. What would be the reasoning for that? Why would she not want Sebastian to be around anymore? I mean, and that's kind of stupid anyway to think that, because supposedly he was going to live with Seth. Katie didn't have to have him anymore, so she had no reason to unalive him if that's the case. You feel me? Think about it for a minute. He was going to live with his dad.
Did he ever arrive home from the restaurant that night?
She
law
didn't want
enforcement checked her
him
receipt
around.
from BJ's to see what she bought and if those things were in the home. That's a great avenue of investigation.
I mean, all they have to do is get a receipt.
Right?
Where's need to go investigate her pantry?
Last proof of life. And then there's, the proof of what the family is saying. Okay, who was the last person not directly connected to the family that saw him? What did they see?
And they went through family court to get Faith. I don't see them hiding Sebastian. Do you know what I mean? Like, they just go through the court system. They wouldn't help Seth get a job. They wouldn't help Seth get a house or a place to stay or whatever, like a duplex. They wouldn't help him with those things if they you know what I mean, they didn't want Sebastian, or if they did want Sebastian. I don't think they would help him if they didn't care a little bit about him. They care about the relationship that him and Sebastian had together. I do believe that.
Where did they
because
go?
It was
what was the
important to
route from
Sebastian.
the restaurant home? Are there any surveillance videos of that? Any traffic cameras, anything on that ride back from the restaurant to the house?
I'm sure there are.
Thank you, Michelle L. Oh, Jennifer Sube also working today. We got the mod squad in effect.
Working today.
All right. Pretty imperfect. Sebastian Rogers missing since February 26, 2024. Amazingly, that's the same date of Madeline Soto. Think about how much further that investigation has gone. And we're hoping for a better ending, though, for this one. Hendersonville, Tennessee, age 15, white, brown hair, brown eyes, glasses, we hope, 5'5", 113.
What did he say? How much did he say? What did he say? What? 113? That's not even right. Every flyer, every single flyer. And I was thinking about this the other day, says 120 pounds. And if that's what Katie put on that damn flyer, I'm sure that's who they asked. Then that's what they put. He's 120 pounds, not 113, 120, 5'5", brown hair, brown eyes, glasses, Hendersonville, Sumner County. I've read that flyer so many times I can picture it right now. But her name's perfectly imperfect, so. But if you're going to say, I mean, you know, Seth is the one that said that the weight didn't seem right. But Seth didn't see him as much as Katie did and Chris. So I would think that his mom would know. His mom probably went to the doctor last time.
A lot of interesting comments here. Very, very interesting.
Oh, no, Mary Beth, don't worry about it. You can always watch us on replay.
Why we leave without his shoes on? If that's true, that makes no sense. That would make no sense unless someone grabbed him or forced him at gunpoint or knife point. Melly, hello, beautiful humans. Vinny, I really like VPI on Court TV. That's the new 9 o'clock hour, the new live 9 o'clock hour
like
show on Court TV.
Trying to be like Nancy. Don't lie.
All right, hit the like, folks. Thank you, Melly Mel.
He's going to be like, I hate that creator, Tanya. You're not 7'6", Richard. If you are, you got to prove that. You don't have to show your face, but you got to show.
I see a lot of split vibes people have on the two sets of parents, right?
Yeah, it's either one way or the other.
I wish they were working.
They all failed, in my opinion. But I do see there's more things that Seth says. And maybe he doesn't mean to say those things. I mean, I'm pretty sure he meant to tell us all to F off. Pretty sure he meant that. He just says things. It's hard to not, side eye him. Even though I don't think he did anything, it's just like, what are you saying? What are you doing? You're not making it any better.
Really working together, but that's not the case. And we've seen that in other cases.
And then we got Tony.
Jean P. or Jean P. This is similar to the missing Summer Wells story.
See what's going on over there.
To a certain extent, right? Summer Wells just disappeared. Come on. She just went downstairs. Summer Wells went downstairs and then just disappeared. Like where? Yeah, unfortunately, we could end up in the same place. It's an unsolved case. Which is the worst. Gen X reminded everyone to watch tonight at 8 o'clock. Less than 3 hours away. Oh, closing arguments tonight. I'll give you a little preview of what we got going on tonight. So 8 o'clock closing arguments, we'll be talking about a couple of stories. Robert Tellis was a politician out in Vegas. And there was an investigative reporter who was writing some pieces on him. He ended up losing his re-election bid. 3 months later, the investigative reporter was stabbed to death. So Robert Tellis is the one being accused of it. He's a little bit of a loose cannon. At one point was representing himself. I don't think he's representing himself, but I'm still not sure how that's going down inside the courtroom. But that trial starts this week, and we'll be taking a close look at that tonight. I've got some insight into all of that. Thank you, Gen X. Then at 9 o'clock, I'm Vinnie Politan Investigates. Maya Miliete. I'm sure you're all familiar with that story out of Chula Vista, California. We're back on the ground in Chula Vista. Got our drones up in the sky, and taking a look at all the issues in that case involving spellcasters and an alibi. We're going to look at his alibi, actually drive his alibi, so you can see what it really entails. So we've got that coming up tonight at 9. Thank you, Gen X.
All right, Vinny, you're getting boring on me.
Let's see. This is interesting. Debbie W. If I was Seth, I'd be at the sheriff's office every day. Right? Yeah, you always, you think about this. How would you act? How would you react? What would you do? What would you say? And remember, we all come from our own perspective. Like, the thing about these stories that I always keep in mind when judging people and people involved is that we don't know them. Like, we didn't know what they looked like or how they acted before all this happened. So it's difficult for us to sometimes fully understand the way they're reacting to a situation, or just the way they are, what type of person they are, whether they're an introvert, an extrovert, someone who has a certain personality, whatever it is that may rub you the wrong way. Well, it may have rubbed you the wrong way before it ever happened. So that, to me, that's always the challenge in trying to ascertain whether someone looks like they could or could not be involved, or are not telling the truth, or truly concerned, or putting on a show or an act for us. Sometimes the acting is obvious, though. We have to admit, sometimes the acting is very obvious. We've seen those cases. But because you don't have that baseline of who someone is and whether you would, sometimes you get that feeling and that vibe from someone, but you may get that same vibe before the disappearance, before the case started, just because of that's the way they are. So that's why sometimes it takes me a while to try to figure someone out. Sometimes, you get that first impression, but you have to dig a little deeper and get and understand their backstory a little bit more about who they are and what's going on. I mean, what we do know about the life of Sebastian Rogers is that it was not a great breakup. This was not a great breakup. And there were ongoing issues, as there are in many.
This wasn't a great hookup. She was 12 years old or something when he met her.
These stories. But he's also a child who is now 15 years old, and he's a child with autism. So you put that combination together, in this case. It can help fester in.
I'm on the Facebook sites, by the way. I'm looking over there for anything that looks interesting. And there's one person over there that's anonymous. They just posted not so long ago, anonymous. Go by this place, by this church, and dig up a hole there. I mean, are you kidding me right now with this? And there's like 100 comments going, oh my gosh, I hope this is true.
And manifest itself into some sort of tension in the air, or tension between people that could cause someone to do something, whether it's Sebastian doing something or someone doing something to Sebastian.
I think 4, maybe 1, 2, 3.
And Laura Wagner puts it this way: poor kid caught up in his parents' BS.
That's what Nick's been saying. If anything.
Yeah, and you got to make sure that kids aren't caught up in the middle of it. Now, we do know that there were some legal proceedings involving Katie against a YouTube live streamer, trying to get some sort of protective order, restraining order, or whatever. And the way those things go is basically you go to court and you just go on your own. The other person doesn't show up. So it's one side that is presented to the judge to get that order of protection. And the other side can then go to court afterwards to try to get it dropped or whatever. Or sometimes you don't bother, if you don't really care whether it exists or not.
I'll have an update from Nick Beers here in a minute.
So that's some of the other drama that's going on there. And that could be part of the explanation for the way the other side hasn't been as public, is that they feel like they were targeted by the media and by social media out of the box, and are not comfortable in public because nothing good seems to come out of it. I get it. And that's understandable. Like, if you've just experienced the worst loss ever, like your child is missing, and then all of a sudden people are like pointing the finger at you, how public are you going to be? The thing that bothers me the most, though, is because I've seen parents who have been sort of in the public target area, but they still continue to do anything and everything to find their child. So I've seen it both ways. And I've seen some that just sort of curl up and just want to disappear and just want to grieve on their own or suffer on their own. So to have zero evidence at this point, with a case that had these many eyes on it, was making this many headlines, I don't think they would have swept it under the rug. I think they would have attempted to dot the I's and cross the T's of the basic initial investigation, which includes, of course, which would include, hold on one second. I have to respond to this. It's a work text message. I'm sorry.
It's a
Broke my train of thought, but after. Okay. Was I?
Okay,
Lindsay Spry. Hello, Vinny.
Oh.
Hello, Linda.
Listen, Linda.
Okay. Jack of all trades. Why is he so focused on being cleared? Kind of suspect being cleared will not find his son. Well, there's a couple things.
We got to say about
one,
that,
if you're
Vinny.
cleared, would that open up the dialogue with law enforcement for a little more communication? You're not going to communicate with someone who's a suspect, but someone who's been cleared, maybe you'll communicate a little bit more. Perhaps get a better, maybe a little more cooperation in coordinating searches.
Probably
Perhaps.
Not. Perhaps not.
Putting the focus on situations and scenarios not involving yourself. Putting more resources toward those. I don't know.
I do.
If no one's cleared, that means everyone is a suspect, or not everyone is potentially a suspect.
Yeah, potentially.
They
didn't even say anybody was.
Just be that because they don't know what happened, they don't want to take that affirmative step of clearing someone. All right. Do we have people being naughty in the chat room tonight? I can't tell.
Who's being naughty? Was anyone in the chat over there who was being naughty? Which one of you? Come on now. Which one of you?
Patricia Evans. So did they clear the stepfather? No one. Nobody cleared. What I would like to see, and I think,
yeah.
There's two approaches to this.
I don't think I saw that part about Mystic, but I saw that one, Daniel.
Public help
video.
Should law enforcement be looking for? Personally, I believe
is bad
in a case where, like, if you know who did it, if you know what happened, you know who did it, you're just putting the pieces together to prove it, to get enough. You're like, well, we really don't need so much help. We just need to get a couple little pieces that we're looking for, and we don't want to jeopardize anything by releasing any information. I get that. But if you're really at like square one, I think an update, a monthly update takes you 5 minutes. You don't even have to have a press conference. You can drop a video and say, hey, here's the latest in this case. We've been looking here, looking there. We stopped searching here. We're investigating that, blah, blah, blah. If you have information, please come forward. That's what I think law enforcement should be doing at a minimum, on all cases that have not been solved. Instead, they just they go over to the side here, and unless everyone's beating the drum, sometimes you may never hear about it.
We've been beating the drum, Vinny.
I've spoken to a lot of families through the years who have ended up in that situation where their story, their case.
Misty said it was me. What'd you do to Betty? I don't know if I remember seeing that part.
Has ended up on that pile.
What'd you do to Betty?
Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. They're waiting for something to fall on their lap. But and it's interesting, like sometimes how just a new
good night, Cheryl.
A new chief, a new sheriff suddenly can change everything.
What? No.
The Long Island case, that one was dormant for a reason, because law enforcement in that case wanted it to remain dormant for years because of their own problems.
Yeah. They weren't doing their
job. Then a new task force, and they moved quickly because they were motivated and they were working. Why? Maybe you do something like that for a Summer Wells case, for this case, for other cases. Pale Rider, no body, no crime. Is that the way they look at it?
I mean, that's 3 years old.
Not necessarily. There are a lot of cases that are prosecuted without a body. But what they have that we don't have here, Pale Rider,
is gorgeous.
Is evidence.
Goodness. If that's really that lady, look how pretty she is.
Which is what they have evidence of nothing.
Goodness.
So at least that's what they're saying. So no body, no crime. It's more no body, no evidence, no crime. And I think that's the way they're looking at it. This is a big issue, right? And I think this is a legit issue. Jordan Davies, do you think some of these YouTube creators are causing issues with the case? I think some of them need to walk away and let the police do their job.
What you sipping on?
I'm not in 100% agreement with that. I think there's a line that shouldn't be crossed, right? So, for instance, let's go to the Karen Reed case where there were allegations that a YouTube live streamer crossed the line in that case.
He did.
It was under different circumstances
16 times
here, but someone did cross that line. It's not even clear that the line was crossed there. A jury's gonna have to decide that, or a judge is gonna have to decide that in terms of freedom of speech, First Amendment. So you've got First Amendment, YouTubers creating issues within the case. What's interesting is the more sunshine is put on something, the more it is disinfected. And what I'm saying is if there is something to be uncovered here, I think more eyes on something is always better, because you don't know where that lead is going to come from. You really don't.
Not always. Not these people running up their mouths with all this fake misinformation. No, they can shut up and go somewhere. They don't need to be out here. We could do it without that.
It's interesting how some people,
even if we have to repeat the same thing over and over again, I mean,
will feel comfortable coming forward.
I'll listen to that 911 call every day.
And saying,
well, we, talk about Sebastian probably a few times a week. So, I'll listen to the phone call a few times a week.
Something.
Or the 911,
they have a mistrust of police. Now, I'm not saying that's the case in this case, but there are cases where people have come forward, but are careful about who they come forward to. That's why I think more people talking about it, the more sunshine, the more chance that that happens. And in a case where there's no active lead, no suspect, no evidence of foul play, what are we talking about? What are they interfering with? Now, there's been allegations of harassment, right? Is it harassment? Is it not? A judge would have to determine that if someone's going to be charged with something. But obviously, you're not permitted to harass people. You're not permitted to defame people, right? Exactly. You're accusing someone of committing a crime, whether it's on YouTube or it's on CBS News or on the New York Times. It's all the same. It's all defamation. I'm a lawyer. I know that.
Thank you. You cannot go around saying people have done something like this when they haven't done something like this. And you can't be look at his eyes. And don't be in the chat saying, I agree, in my opinion, in Betty's chat, Seth Rogers. Like, you know what I mean? That's defamation. I don't know why people don't know, like, why they don't know this. That's not your First Amendment. You have a First Amendment freedom of speech, but you cannot defame somebody. There's a line. You can't just say whatever you want. Well, you can, but there's consequences.
Accuse someone of committing a crime and they did not.
Betty has to suffer the consequences.
They could sue you for defamation. If they sue you for defamation, it becomes a lawsuit, then you get deposed.
Thank you, Susan. It says, I love your channel, or I love your channel, Vinny. I know you keep it real and you have great content. Oh, thank you very much. That's so nice of you. You're very sweet. Very, very sweet.
Deposed. What's a defense to defamation? What's the first offense? The truth. So if you accuse someone of killing someone and they say, I'm suing you for defamation, if you could show that they killed someone, you win, they lose. But all those checks and balances exist. So if in fact someone's being wrongfully accused of something, they can bring legal action against whoever is doing it. Whether you're doing it in a chat, you're doing it on a video, you're doing it on television, you're doing it in a newspaper, in a letter to the editor. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you are accusing someone of something they did not do. Now, if you accuse someone of doing something that they did not do, then they could be entitled to take your money. That's the way it works. So,
well, Betty probably don't have any money to take.
Whatever accusations are made, whether it's YouTube creators are in the same place as anyone else, any other citizen, any other journalist, any other network, any other newspaper. It's all the same. It's just newspapers and networks tend to get sued more often because they actually have the money to pay the damages if someone wins against them. So
yeah.
Yeah, but I think if you've gotten to the point where you are crossing a line, then you definitely need to walk away.
Yeah, you need to take a break. There's times that, there's sometimes that you just need to walk away and take a little bit of a breather, and even if it's just for a day or two, being off of YouTube for a day or two can be like being off of YouTube for like a year. I mean, it feels like a year, believe you me. And then you come back and your head is like clear and you're refreshed. Like, I don't know. Sometimes you need to walk away.
Definitely need to walk away.
I mean, I need to take my own advice sometimes. I never take a day
But
off.
if nothing's happening,
I think I've taken what, a couple of days off this year?
It is members of the media and people on social media who can keep a story alive and keep the search alive. April Powell, Art Yomenko. Hi, Vinny. Thank you for continuing to cover this story. Prayers that Sebastian is found one day. Yeah. And I think all of us are with you, April, on that. And obviously there are challenges. But we don't know. And remember how much hope some of us had when that.
I'm not sure if Betty's been served. That's a good question. But her next court date is supposed to be August 22nd.
Photographs started circulating on social media.
And if she doesn't show up, I mean, she could get a bench warrant. They could fight. I mean, that's a bench warrant right there.
A month ago or whenever that was.
Get her arrested.
So Renee. Ref Snyder. This is awesome, Vinny. Thank you, Renee.
Richard, it's because he's been doing it for like 10, 15 years, 20 years. No, she's asking her subscribers to help her.
Kat Miller, FBI involved. Sumner County is just the lead. Yeah, somebody's got to get the lead. FBI usually doesn't lead these, but they provide support. They'll provide support if necessary.
Right. Tuesday said, that's what I say.
Miss Oden with a what's up to Gen X. What's up, beautiful?
Oh, Scooter
Nikki Turner.
Tomorrow in the next few days, we're going to have a lot of other content. So just hold on to your bootstraps there.
Watching 24/7.
We got it coming.
All right. Fantastic. Lindsay Shea with a great point here. I can watch for free on my smart TV also. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think she has two now, doesn't she?
A couple different ways of watching your smart TV. But if you have a Samsung television, I think it's called Samsung Plus. Like Samsung has their own streaming service that is built into your television, and Court TV is on there. It's like channel 3,400 and something, I think. But you can definitely watch there. You can also watch on, thank you, Lindsay. You can also watch on the Roku app like Donna Edwards Booker does with her big glasses. Those are huge glasses. Huge. Okay, little side conversation going on here. Gina F. suspected of what, though? What's the crime? Someone wrote, because Seth is a suspect. Suspected of what, though? What's the crime?
Because something just makes me laugh that he says that. It's like, why? Why are you saying that?
Right? There's no evidence of foul play. So if there's no evidence of foul play, there's no crime. Teenagers can run away. And law enforcement deals with that a lot. If you watch the headlines every day, missing child, a lot of them are teenagers. Some of them have been taken.
I mean, we did a poll or whatever the other day. Remember we talked about it. Like a lot of us have run away before when we were teenagers. We run away, whether it was for a couple hours, a couple days. I mean, our parents either found us or we made our way back. But a lot of us did run away as teenagers. So, I think they're just keeping everything open.
Some of them have been lured and some have run away. So it's a combination. They always have to.
And being lured, I feel like is happening so often now. It's like just so often because the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Mary Beth.
Court TV is watching.
Like, yes.
Hello, Court TV.
Roku too. I think a Roku.
Vinnie Politan. I wonder if they are an international viewer.
Court TV's in there.
Not sure.
International
streamer. Must not be a free country if they don't allow Court TV. Frozen, Vinny. Kelsey says I'm frozen. I don't know if am I frozen? I don't think so. I look good on my end here, but I don't know what it looks like on your end. Pretzels and cornbread. Are these current photos, Sebastian, on the screen? If not, where are the most current photos and why are they not shared?
Those are this one right here.
There was a bunch of pictures. These ones.
So the one of him right here with the glasses and the yellow type of shirt, like the off-whitish, brownish, yellowish shirt. I don't know what color you call that. The optimism shirt is the one that that picture was taken the weekend, that weekend, I believe, that he, went missing. I think it was the day before he went missing, but I'm not 100%. It was either the day, it was like the 24th or the 25th it was taken.
I believe
maybe probably one of you
two of the most recent. We'll flash some more on there. But I think there's a lot of pictures. Some he's a little bit younger. This one looks pretty recent.
That one looks a little bit recent. That one looks a little younger. The one I use, I think it looks a little younger there, but he looks like 15 there. I think he looks like 14, 15 there.
Titch, Seth is not a suspect. I believe law enforcement are playing KP and CP. They won't clear Seth because that'll put PFs on edge. They want CP to be confident, as he can't help but tell on himself. Interesting. Yeah, you don't know what the theory is, but that's you don't know what game they're playing. And when I say game, not like a fun game, like an investigatory game of trying to get someone to say something or do something. And we don't know. There may be some sealed warrants that have been executed in the case as well. That's possible. You need probable cause for it, but. All right. Mary Freyer says possibly clearing Seth because they feel like he may be protecting KP. That's an interesting dynamic there. Although I do
believe you me, Katie wouldn't want him to protect her. Believe you me. Okay.
Believe that.
I think it'd be the other way around anyway.
There is some.
She was military.
Well, I don't think they're on the best of terms.
I think that, yeah.
Seth and KP.
Not. Sorry, Mary.
But you never know. It's possible. Dolly Vision making a lot of waves.
Oh my!
In our chat.
Whoa! Dolly got a shout out from Vinny. Does anyone know this? Does Dolly know this? Has anyone told Dolly yet? Making a lot of waves, Dolly.
Sandy makes a great point. No parent is perfect. None of us are. None of us are. None of these are.
I told you these guys watch YouTube creators. I told you Nancy told on herself before. That's how she knows Chris McDonough. She said she was snooping on YouTube trying to find content.
Guilty by evidence. Law enforcement is going by evidence or lack of it. Nobody's cleared. Katie's not evil and Seth's not a saint.
Me too, Richard.
There we go. Nobody's perfect.
We're just have to be on a move. Oh, Dolly was in chat. That's funny. Man.
Lisa, Seth has a rock solid alibi. I think the only way, if the whole alibi works, I haven't seen the videos myself, but I understand that if you're at work, you're at work, especially in his profession. Then it would the other allegation would be a potential conspiracy, right? To get a third person involved to do something for you or with you. But where's the evidence of that? Oh, here's Shaza. I can't watch live stream as you go anymore. I'm in UK. Used to be able to watch on the phone and iPad. It says it's only available on Sky, but can only watch it live when it's on Facebook, YouTube, such as the Black Swan trial. So I'm not sure I can. What is going on overseas? This is an outrage. The court TV is being, that's not good. We have a lot of very passionate
come on over here, lady from the UK. We'll watch it.
I'll have to research what's going on there. All right. Yeah, I see a lot of people saying there has to be a crime for people to be cleared. Mm-hmm. And Colin Sini reminding us that Summer Wells just disappeared from her home in East Tennessee and has not been found yet.
We'll see what they were saying. Maybe we can see it.
Kathy Vasilou just installed the Court TV app. Awesome. You can take us wherever we are.
I didn't mean to do that. Vinny, did your show cut on purpose that night at Vinnie Politan? Were you really not aware Seth was not cleared?
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly
Here's a question.
imperfect.
Did the
Stop putting
stepfather
the
ever
wrong
get
stuff
searched?
in here.
GPS route to Memphis. Well, hasn't been made public, but I've got to think that would be like
Dolly's right there. Okay, now I see him.
Investigation 001.
What happens in the dark will come to light. That's what Dolly says. Oh my God, Dolly, get out of here.
I think the first thing you would do would be, even without a warrant, you can ask someone, hey, can I see this? Can I see this? Can you provide this? Can you provide that? So that's, I would assume that got done. If it wasn't done voluntarily, then you'd have to get a warrant to get some of that information. But they said everyone was cooperating. So I always assumed, maybe I shouldn't, that the cooperation would include, let us see where you were, show us your phone, give us access to your phone, give us access to your GPS, whatever sort of information that could track where you are. Tell us who you were with, all things like that. To me, that's important. My cat's name is Karen. Put these three on Dr. Phil and let's see who's lying. One of those three people knows. Wow. That would be an interesting spot, Karen. And Dr. Phil's got his thing going now. He's got his own network, by the way, in Texas. Powerhouse.
He has his own doctor's thing. Doctors, what's it called? It's like a doctor's thing. Doctor's own something. I don't remember. It's an app that he put together.
Phil has a way, right? When he puts everyone out there together.
What is he drinking? Does anyone know what Vinny's drinking in this blue bottle?
That would be interesting. Interesting. All right. Arctic Wolf Angel. I left home at 14 years old. Arctic Wolf.
Wow, 14.
Were they looking for you?
Man.
Did you? And when I say looking for you, were you trying to stay off the radar? And the question is, could Sebastian, a child with autism, whatever his spectrum issues are, is that something?
Absolutely. Yeah. If anyone's ever run away before and they actually succeeded at it for a while and they had to come back, let me know in the chat. Get your butt up here and let's talk about that. Or we'll talk about it in the chat, because that would be interesting to know. I mean, what people. I mean, I guess if this was prior to anything really now, it's a lot harder to stay away and be hidden now compared to like the 90s or maybe the 80s, 70s, 60s, something like that, where there wasn't as much technology. But I mean, those are good questions.
Something he could accomplish, like staying below the radar without money.
Yeah. Without money, without a phone, without help, if he didn't have help. But if he had phone and money, he'd probably call the cops. He looks like he looks like a really good kid. He just looks like he's a rule follower, not a rule breaker. And I feel like by now, 6 months into this, like he would have found out. He would know he's not dumb. He would know he's missing if he didn't see his parents. And you know what I mean? Like he'd be like, oh my gosh, someone surely is looking for me. I mean, any kid would know that. I'm missing school. Why am I missing school? Like things like that. I just don't see him just like staying under the radar with somebody. Like, okay, I'll hide out here with you. Like, unless they have him chained up somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to think that. But I don't want to think that he's gone either. But it's just the not knowing is what I feel like that's the worst. That's the worst for these parents.
All right, folks, we're getting close to the witching hour here. Michelle L., they don't know what they don't know until they do. They don't know what they don't know until they do.
Okay.
That actually makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Look at this. Hello, Vinny. Shout out from Qualicum Beach, Vancouver Island, Canada.
Hello.
Canada, discerning 8. I work directly for Seth. Law enforcement told Seth they have no proof he left the home or barefoot. Come to the vigil coming up.
Well, yeah, they have no proof. It's just Katie saying that she just sees his shoes. There's no proof. The cops can't make proof of it because they can't say, well, he had this many pairs of shoes, because the officers, investigators, they don't know. They don't know prior to, oh my. You do not work for Seth Rogers. Who is this lady? Has anyone seen her? This is craziness. Discernings. I work directly with Seth.
Discerning 8. Thank you.
What are you doing?
8.
What are you doing with him? What are you doing with Seth? Are you the one that scheduled the vigil at the bar? The biker vigil? You guys are meeting at the bar? Okay. It's a good one. She's the prayer lady. Oh, good golly. I mean, prayers are important, but I think I know who you're talking about now. Was she at the last vigil? Why do I feel like I could just remember her in a bright green shirt?
All right. Well, you know what happens, folks. I have to take off.
Because I was looking at her, I'm like, she does look familiar. That's why I'm like discernings, but no, I'd
like to stay longer, but I have 2 hours of live television to do tonight on Court TV. 8 to 9, it is closing arguments. 9 to 10, it is Vinnie Politan Investigates. Both shows live. In between the two, I do a wardrobe change. It's the most nerve-wracking 4 minutes of the night. It's like the pressure is on. And tonight's going to be a little more difficult because I'm wearing cufflinks. That's going to add an extra 20 seconds to the wardrobe change.
Sharp.
I got my V cufflinks on tonight for the 8 o'clock show. So I have to take those off. All right.
He needs like a Taylor
Captain
Swift
Jenks,
outfit.
law enforcement should release the BJ's Texas Roadhouse footage. What would it hurt at this point? It would not hurt at this point.
He need, like a basketball uniform.
Matter of fact, it might. Well, first of all, it would splash all over local news, which might raise more information from people who say, oh, wait a minute. Now I remember. Like, why not? There's no reason not to, Captain Jenks. I agree. 2,000%. 2,000%. Oh, Mick Spunky reporting for duty. Vinny, Gen X, Melly, and Jennifer Sube. Mick Spunky in the house. Thank you, Mick Spunky. I was a little worried. I almost finished the show without Mick Spunky, and that would not be a good thing. That would not be.
Why does that look like a fake picture? All
right. Just doing my final scroll here. Oh, wow. I'm way behind. Oh, my goodness. If I missed any of your great comments, it's just because I ran out of time. Wow. I'm on super speed scrolling right now just to see how many comments are. It's nuts. It's nuts. You guys are awesome. Hope you had a good conversation in the chat room. Thanks to Gen X, Frankie Figs, Jennifer Sube, and Melly for
Melly, I think I've heard her on other channels.
Being Law and Order in there and keeping things going.
Vinny,
what's your opinion of the father of a missing child having a tip line?
Yeah, what is your opinion on that?
I would do it. I would forward every tip to law enforcement, but I would have a tip line to make sure nothing slipped through any crack. I'd also, I don't know if I could go back to work, I'll be honest with you. Although in my business, I might use my work as my platform. Spirit Seeker Squad. Vinny, can you recall a missing case where any parent has been cleared publicly by law enforcement trying to find the case? Chad said Mark Class, but any others?
I don't even think Mark Class was at first.
I'd have to think on that. Nothing comes to mind right off the top of my, but that's a great point. Spirit Seeker Squad. But Mark Class, yeah.
What is he drinking? And can I get some? It
Mark
looks
Class
good. I don't know what it is.
Like,
it's price I don't even like.
You're not going to let go. You're not going to stop. Nothing will prevent you. Nothing will stop you. Nothing will deter you. And it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot for anybody and everybody, because you become a public figure. And, you know, if that's not your choice, if that's not your personality, it's much more difficult. I understand. I get it. I get it big time. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
So he gets it. Okay. Thank you, Vinny. I appreciate that. Appreciate that so much. I mentioned probably class law, and we need to review that law, the federal law, and how does that help, and how it helps parents. We could do that sometime. Yeah. Thank you guys for telling people to hit the like button. You guys are so sweet. Hit the like button, everybody. Hit the like button. And just hit it once. Don't hit it twice. Just hit it once. If you hate it, hit the thumbs down, but don't do that. That's not nice. But, you know, if you didn't like it. Parents should not have a tip line. Yeah, break time. I agree. I agree with that full-heartedly. I think Vinny needs to rethink that. I would like to know what Nancy thinks about that. Like if she would have a tip line. I'm curious. I'm just because they're both, you know, they're ex-prosecutors, and I would just like to know, you know, what her take would be. I think she would probably say, I'd do a tip line, you know. She probably would say that. Hey, Earth, welcome in. His blue eyes and emotions bring the views. Yeah. It brings the ladies in. It brings the ladies in. Thank you very much, Austin. I have them in brown too. Little feather earrings. I never wear dangling earrings, really. I used to wear dangling earrings on Saturdays for some reason. I don't know why, but I did. I was like, I'm going to wear them tonight. Because I pulled my hair up because I was at the store running around like a crazy person today. Oh my gosh. So I think we're done with that, the case. So I'll tell you my crazy shopping experience. I should never be able to go to the grocery by myself because I never can find things in an order, you know, like when my mom used to go to the grocery store. I mean, we both go to Kroger, so same grocery store, but not the same one I grew up going to. But she knew where everything was. Like, and she would have she would start at like, you know, in one spot of the store, and she just had a flow. And she'd get all of her stuff. She wasn't going back and forth, back and forth. I mean, today I was going back and forth, this direction, that direction. I've got my move ring in. I mean, my little legs are hurting. But today was the first day that my foot didn't hurt since July 18th. So I walked a lot. I was walking all over the place. I mean, people probably thought I was nuts. And then I bring my own bags, of course, to like bag my stuff. But I use the self-checkout. And that self-checkout lady kept yelling at me to put the item in the bag. And I'm like, I did. I had a list, Sunshine. I even had a list. Did I go off of it a little? Did I get other things? Of course. I left with like 5 huge bags of things today. And Vincent was like, what did you get? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, a lot. Probably 5 pounds of meat. And like just potatoes, food, just stuff to have, you know. It was like insane how much stuff I was getting. I was just going back and forth. Like I'm not very good at I need to figure that out, figure out that store. Because I usually go to Target. It's so bad to say that, but usually like we're just picking up 1 or 2 things. I'll just go to Target. And so I try to go to Kroger's, like an actual grocery store, and, you know, get everything today. So that way I'm not going to Target. Because I'm, you know, I go there every day. I was there. Did I go today? I didn't go today. I went yesterday. I had to get my flu shot. 201. Yes. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you guys. You got one a few weeks ago. It was there. You do drives up for Christmas. Man, that's probably, you know, probably a good idea. I like to get out though a little bit. It's kind of like I'll listen to my AirPods, so I'm not really out and about, but I am, you know, I'm with the people. But I always have my headphones in. So I always I was listening. Who was I listening to? Was it Joneson? So I was listening to her tonight. Yeah, I was listening to her at the grocery store too. Yeah. She was going over whatever his name is. What's that guy's name with all the face tattoos? Wade Wilson. If you're not subscribed over to Jones, and go over there and check out her stuff on Wade Wilson. It's, oh my Lord, that guy is something else. I wish we would have covered the case on the channel now. That guy's crazy. There she is, Melly. She's everywhere. Melly's in the house. So I've seen you somewhere before, Melly. I think it was Pascal. Is it Pascal? Are you a mod in Pascal's? You grew up with him, Austin? He's something else. I don't know the whole case. Like, I didn't know anything starting today. That's when I found out some stuff. And I was like my mouth was open. I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, he's just like every other bum. That's what I thought. I thought Pascal. Okay, that's where I saw. Yeah, Millie. That's awesome. You must love being a mod. I'm not a very good mod. I'm not a good mod at all. I can't stay looking at the chat. Like, there's some of y'all that are like superstars. Like, you'll go into people's chats and you won't even see the comment. People rip it out so fast, you know? Thank you, Susan. You are so kind tonight. Look at you. Very, very kind. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's nice to have you here. Welcome in. Melanie's mod for Bill. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. You want to be a mod? Oh, I might need to get a couple more mods on my channel. I was going to just keep, like, I have 2, and I wasn't going to get any more from that. But Vincent's been falling asleep on me lately. He's sleeping with the dogs on the couch right now. It's so cute. I ran out there real quick to see if he was awake, but he wasn't. But Jan sleeps a lot at night because, I mean, it's nighttime and she has to work during the day. And then my other mod lives in Scotland. So it's like 5 in the morning there right now. So, I mean, you know, so. Well, thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Thanks, guys. I just like, I'm the worst mod. Like, I'm just bad at keeping like an eye on the chat. I'm so bad about when I'm chatting people's lives, keeping my eye on my own messages when I put a message in, you know, like I'll just say something and then I walk away. Yeah, you guys behave, Mystic. You guys do. You guys do. Vincent was awesome about like, he's awesome when he's a little mod. He'll sneak in sometime and mod. If we have like a bigger chat too. I mean, we've been having bigger chats, but he's been sleeping because he works, you know, really hard. He works during the day, so. And thank you, whoever said I looked pretty tonight. I saw that the comment, and I appreciate that. Yes, calls. That's what she was. She was playing some of his jail calls today, but then Jones went back and was like going through some of the stuff so people knew what, you know, the case was about and one of like his prior victims. And I was just like, oh, yep. Know a guy like that. You know, I mean, there are some freaking crazy people out there, and he's one of them. And I guess he just got those tattoos like during trial. I was like, what? I was like, didn't they put him in segregation? She's like, yeah. I'm like, how did this happen? It's crazy. You hide. That's what I would do. Or I would do that. I would like, just so I could be in there like and help if, you know, and take some people out if I need to. Vincent's good at it. He's fast. Because one night we had a huge live going and I don't think I had mods, or maybe I did. I just didn't have any in the chat that night. But something happened, like a troll account came in or something, and they disrupted the chat, and you could see the chat just kind of like go negative, and I could see it on my end, but it's hard for me to do something else other than what I'm doing, because especially with one eye, I'm working with one eye over here, you know, so it's hard for me to see the chat, try to time someone out, or try to like, you know, do all that kind of stuff. But he literally was like, I saw your numbers jump. Like, people like left the chat because of the negativity they were seeing in the chat, like by reading it or whatever. And he said, my numbers went like 20 people left, like just like dropped like that. And he went in, he was like, boop, and that person was gone. I was like, who the heck just threw that? Like, who did that? Because I didn't realize that Vincent was even in here. He doesn't say anything. He just hides in the bushes. His name is Vincent is here. I mean, you'll know. You'll know if he's here. But yeah, he used to come in the chat. You hope, do you get tats? Oh yeah, you could. They work with what they've got. And I don't know exactly how the tattooing goes on there. I mean, I've probably seen shows about it. It's been a while, but not in jail so much as in prisons. I'm not sure how he got it if he's not in a prison, but he should just be in a jail right now. So how did he do all those? And what's the one on his forehead right here say? Oh, for baby mom, what'd you do to me? Oh, see, me, not me, Earth. I can't do any of that. I could barely talk and talk and type at the same time. I can't even do that, actually. I lied. I can't even do that. Thank you, Susan. I think Susan keeps doing the same thing over again. Today I had my the person I was helping with my groceries was doing that. He must have had some sort of, you know, something not like, mentally wrong, or like, with his brain or something. I'm not sure. And that's not, maybe not mentally, but an injury, or he had some sort of illness. But he kept repeating like the same things to me, which was fine. But it was really cute. And he was like, are you having a good day? Hi. He would say his name, and I can't remember his name now. I should remember it. He said it 100 times, but he would say hi, and he'd say his name. And his name. Are you doing good today? And he kept repeating it. And of course, I had coupons. I never have coupons, but I had some for Kroger because they send me them. And when I scanned them through, I had to give them to him, but one didn't scan through right, so I had to have him scan the rest of them through. So it was a process. So for 5 minutes, every 30 seconds, or not even every 30 seconds, every like 15 seconds, 10, 15, he said, are you doing good today? So then I kept asking him, I'm like, are you doing good today? And he'd be like, yeah. He would just get real bright when you would ask him back. Like, it was just, I was like, we literally just played a game for like 15 minutes on, are you doing good today? Yeah. Are you doing good today? Yeah. People in the line were probably looking at me too. They're probably like, what is this girl doing? But I think he liked it. He was smiling. I was just trying to make him smile. But it was really cool. It was cute. I think that I thought that it was really, I love it when people are out in the work field and they, and they do have like a disability. I like seeing that. Like, I like seeing people try and really be able to work because they want to work. People want to work, and I'm glad that Kroger's is one of those companies that's willing to give that person a chance to work, because I love that guy compared to the other lady. And she's all there. The other lady's just like, she's just like, thanks for coming in. Like, that's all she says. And that's it. I'm like, and she says it so low. And like, that guy, I liked him. It's like, are you doing good today? So make sure you ask everybody if they're doing good. I asked him a bunch of times. But thank you guys all for coming tonight. I'm going to go and wake up the dogs. I can't believe I left them out today. I left them out of the room. It's really quiet in here. It's kind of eerie, actually. Equal opportunity, it is great to see. It really is, Scooter McBooters, especially because like, people do want to work, and it's hard to get a job. All inclusive, take my job. Richard's like, hey, I can have mine. I haven't worked outside my home in like, I've had my business, my boutique, and it's LLC, it's licensed and everything. I've had that since 2021. So since 2021. Wow, man, I've been in the house for a while. And then I've been doing YouTube since September of 2021. Wait, no, 2022. Yeah, 2022. Just about gave myself an extra year there. But I didn't really see anything on the Facebook groups, nothing. Oh, wait, actually I did. Don't go anywhere. Everybody come back. I forgot to tell you, Nick Beers did an update. Let me read it to you really quick. This will be a good way to close out the live. Update on Sebastian Rogers. 5 hours ago, this was Nick Beers from the news station that's been following this case since the beginning. Each week, I get several messages asking if there's anything new on the missing teen with autism. Sadly, there is not, but I want to keep sharing his information and photo here until we all get some answers. I continue to check in with Sumner County EMA, the Sheriff's Office, my sources with the TBI, District Attorney Ray Whitley, and others. It's now been nearly 6 months since 15-year-old Sebastian vanished from his Hendersonville, Tennessee home. I know there's frustration. We all have strong feelings about this and want the case solved, and hopefully Sebastian's found. So what can I tell you? First, let me clarify about a post I took down a few weeks ago. I did so because of details in the post I probably could have explained better, and then comments took off with assumptions. Betty. I hope this clears up any misconceptions. I know many of you believe Sebastian is the victim of foul play. That very well may be the case. And many believe his mother or stepfather or biological father may be involved. All I can say is that, to date, authorities tell me there is no evidence linking any of the three to Sebastian's disappearance. When I say they have been vetted, it means investigators have checked, double checked, and triple checked their stories, and they have all checked out. The parents have cooperated and have been interviewed multiple times together and apart, looking for inconsistencies. Trust me when I tell you, if there was cause to make an arrest, authorities would do so in a heartbeat. So many of you on social media and on podcasts continue to voice your concerns, and I'm right there with you. I do check in with General Whitley, and he would be among the first to know if any charges will be filed. He cares deeply about this case and meets regularly with investigators for updates. He tells me there is simply no proof right now to support charging anyone with a crime. And you don't charge someone lightly and without good evidence, and you do that, and they are found not guilty at trial, it's over. Then if new evidence surfaces implicating the same person, you cannot charge them again. That is known as double jeopardy. All this being said, no one has been officially cleared. Everyone interviewed from the parents and beyond, dozens of people have had their stories vetted, but new evidence can surface. So what happened to Sebastian? The mystery remains. The bottom line for me, children do not vanish without a trace on their own. Barring some very unusual circumstances, I think someone else was involved. But who? And where is the evidence? Anyone with information on the case can call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Please share. There's a picture of Sebastian. So that's what Nick has to say about that. Thanks for sticking around. I'm sorry that some of y'all left. Whoops. But I was looking at this whenever we were watching the video. I found this. So, but thank you guys for being here tonight. I do appreciate you guys. Pray that we do find Sebastian. I mean, either way at this point, that little boy needs to be found and brought home. Young man, he needs to be brought home. He needs to be brought home. It's just, parents, family members, community deserves answers. And then us, and then maybe we can get some answers too. But thank you guys again for being here. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. I did do a live this afternoon. If you guys want to check that out, we went over Petty Betty, Bullhorn Betty, just because she was on her stuff today. Tomorrow night, we're going to cover something different. I'm not sure. We have a lot of updates to go over. We have Delphi. We have Idaho. I think we'll do Idaho because you guys said that on the poll we did last time. That was the second one that you guys voted the most for. So we have an Idaho podcast that I can play for you guys, and then I'll make a video out of it too. So I will see you guys all tomorrow night, and I might see you guys tomorrow during the day. So make sure your bell icon's on and you have you're subscribed to the channel and you hit the like button. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Bye.